is up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to episode 77 of the GVGCast. I'm your interim host, Steve Bowling. I'm joined, as always, by my good friends and partners here at GVG, Ash Paulson, who is joining us live from the bathtub, Brandon Miracle, back from baby leave, and Daniel Alba. How is it we got a full house? It's been a while.
We do. I know.
Yeah, Ash has the same shirt as last time. He does. He even has the...
From the last tub stream? Do I really?
I believe
That's so funny. I mean, how can you go wrong with Persona 4's Teddy in a tub, right? I mean...
Tub Teddy.
It's just, they go so well together. I didn't even realize that.
Well, it's been a hell of a week. Normally, this is the part where I'd ask how everybody's doing. But I want to lead with a little bit of housekeeping. I don't usually get to host, and I definitely don't have the distinct privilege of announcing really great news all the time. So, because the world's terrible and everyone's dying. But today is great, and it's great for two reasons that I can think of. Not just because Brandon's back and Daniel's here, but because Brandon and Daniel are now officially full-fledged partners of GVG. Woo! You might have noticed that I didn't say art director and video editor. Those days are over. Those days are over.
I seeded that last week too. I was wondering if anybody was going to notice. I said partners, and that was it. And I don't know if anyone picked up on it.
Yeah. So we, thanks to all of you out there, your generous support, watching all the new videos we've been putting out. Obviously, while I was moving and everybody had stuff going on, Daniel and Brandon were help keeping the channel alive for us. And we've always viewed the channel as being a place where everybody's working together, everybody's sharing in the success, and we're finally able to do that. And it's thanks to all of you out there, because frankly, your support helps keep the lights on, literally, for us in this case.
Indeed. So
we're really happy to have Daniel and Brandon full partners in the channel, and everybody, thank you guys. Thank you guys for sticking with us as long as you have. And we're really glad to have you guys here in the fullest of official capacities. Not that you were any less important to the channel before, but you're stuck with us now.
I'm
forever.
I'm locked in my basement, ready to go.
Me too. I have a basement now, and I'm locked in it. So
stay a while. You're here forever.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah. It's an honor and a privilege. I thank you guys so much for having us here. It feels real good.
Well, it's been a long time coming. This has been something we've all wanted to happen for a long time, and I'm so glad that we're finally able to make it happen, because you guys more than deserve it, as Steve said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember I iterated on this a while back on one of the shows. I forgot what it was, but yeah, ever since I was here on the first episodes of TNT, way back then at this point now, and it was just me, just fans of all you guys, because I've watched your stuff for years beforehand, and I know I shared some graphics with you guys, and you were like, "Oh, we can use this. We'll pay for this," and it was an honor to have some part of helping to get this off the ground, even in some small way. But then, Steve would keep contacting me for things. I'm like, sure, I'll do whatever you want me to do, Steve. And then I remember, one of those days I was in the voice call with you and Brandon. That was the first time I had actually spoken to either of you two. So I was like, oh God, I don't want to sound like a fanboy or something while we're chatting together. But yeah, now it's like we're all friends now. And the things that I worked on while here are some of the things that I wish I was doing a long time ago, because I had some skills with video production, obviously with graphic design, and being able to apply that here and just do some funny things, some fun stuff, some dumb stuff, being able to keep the channel going during that time. I mean, it's, as Brandon said, a privilege and an honor, and we're just really happy to be here and in a full capacity as much as you guys now. So that's exciting. I don't know who didn't know this already, but yeah, we weren't really here at that kind of capacity as everybody else, but now it's all an equal level at this point. So it's great.
There was some sleuths in the Discord server and our improvements channel that took notice of some of the role changes.
Yep.
So if you're in our Discord, which I recommend you join over at patreon.com/gvgaming, or right under this stream, there's that new join button. You can hit that. We're working on it. Daniel posted some icons. We're workshopping those. So there will be some YouTube specific benefits coming. But either way, if you want to join, that gets you into the best damn Discord community anywhere on the internet. But yeah, we've made some changes. Co-founders is gone, partners is here, staff is kind of just a thing now because we're all on the same role now. So yeah, if you tag the partners group, you'll get all 6 of us any old time. Hopefully John's sleeping though. Please don't tag John while he's sleeping.
Right. And that also means, though, for those of you in our Fight a Founder or personalized video response tiers, starting next month, you're going to be able to request Daniel and Brandon as well. A lot of you have asked about that. I've gotten so many requests from you, like, hey, can we request them? Or like, we can't quite figure it out right now. Like, not yet, but eventually, we promise. And that day is here. So if you've been waiting to just take one of them to town in your favorite game, then your time has come. Starting next month, they are officially requestable for Fight a Founder sessions and personalized video responses.
I'm ready for the weird responses and to fight everyone in Smash and Mario Party and whatever else you want to throw me into.
Kick our butts.
Hell yeah.
I dare you.
Caitlin is going to make you eat something weird. Just FYI.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Wait
All
for
right.
that.
Well, as joyous as that is, there is one other thing about today that brings me a lot of joy, and that is our sponsor for this episode, the one and only, the Game Orb. The Game Orb is a YouTube channel and Twitch channel that brings commentary and gameplay footage from the Nintendo Switch and Xbox Series X gaming systems. His current goal is not only to reach affiliate status, but to do it before TwitchCon in 2 weeks, so he can have the affiliate name on his TwitchCon badge. Even if it doesn't happen by that point, he still appreciates all the follows he has gotten. If you want to support him on Twitch along with his YouTube channel, we've got links to both of those down in the description right now, so please go show him support. I will also link both their Twitch and YouTube in chat if you're watching live with us here on YouTube right now. Means a lot to us if you could help them out, because they've helped us out so much. So check out those.
Yes.
Costs nothing for you to subscribe. Well, on Twitch it does, but go throw them some love. It would mean a lot to everyone here at GVG if you could take the time out of your day to check out the Game Orb at those links, which are pinned in chat now. All right, folks. So it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had this specific crew, especially. So I want to go around the table. Ash, I'm going to start with you because you look the least comfortable. How's it going?
I am reasonably certain that I am the least comfortable. I wanted to get some Capri Sun before this to kind of have some fun 90s snacks like you did last week in the tub, Steve. But I had to pick up my wife from the airport today. And if you've ever been to LAX to and from in LA traffic, that doesn't really leave much extra time for other things. So didn't get to pick up the Capri Sun. I do have some water, thankfully, to keep myself hydrated while I'm in all this water. But I learned from last time. I'm in a cold bath now, not a hot bath, because the hot bath, I was falling out last time. I couldn't deal with it. Y'all know I love the cold. I was sweating. I was miserable. Right now, I'm in nice, cool water. My knees are hurting, but I'm doing better than last time. So, no, I'm good. I have just been, getting work done, getting freelance work done. We did an update last night on the Mario Wonder kiosk demo. So Daniel and I both ran out to our local GameStops and played that really quick, grabbed some footage. And I did the update last night. Been doing freelance work. About to roll credits on Sea of Stars. I've done almost everything in the post game except for the final battle. I'm about to start Spider-Man Miles Morales. I haven't played it. It's passed me by earlier, so I'm gonna I know, right? So I'm gonna get that done and dusted before Spider-Man 2 comes out. I know it's pretty short, so and then I've been playing the Sonic Frontiers DLC, which is so janky and wild and all over the place, but also really fascinating too. It's something else for sure. Lots of great new music though, I'll say that much. But I would love to do a discussion on it. I know John already did his own video, but Sonic Team are the weirdest, most idiosyncratic I don't even know they did so much. They have done so much right with prior 3D Sonic games like Generations and such. And there were parts of Frontiers that I liked, but this DLC, man, it is all over the place and it's wild. But that has basically been my week, just keeping up with work, trying to, get through some games before the October deluge begins in a couple of weeks. And and then of course getting ready for this awesome tub stream. I've got my rubber ducky friends here with me. Hopefully you can see them on camera. And I've got my tried and true Frozen 2 glacier grape scented bubble bath. It smells like shit. I hate it. I'm gonna have a headache by the end of it. It smells like a grape marker. Imagine bathing in a grape marker, and that's what this smells like. It's awful.
Awesome.
But you know what? That's what the
Wonderful.
people pay for. The people are paying for Tub Stream, so they're gonna get
Yeah,
Tub Stream.
I gotta say though, we got two new partners here, neither of whom have ever
It's
done
true.
Tub Stream. I'm just pointing it out for those of you watching. I feel like we need to inaugurate a couple new Bath Boys.
Rub a
at some
dub
point
dub,
here.
baby.
All right, well, Brandon, it's been a while for you, my friend. You've been out since you became a dad. How's life treating you?
It's very different. So beforehand I wasn't sleeping, and guess what? I'm still not sleeping.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But no, I love being a dad. Elle is wonderful. We're still like kind of figuring out, what she needs, when she needs it, and kind of what her schedule is. But outside of that, being a dad just kind of kicks ass.
I'm honestly
I love it.
same. I'm so happy for you, man. I know how much you wanted to be a dad. And it's always those folks that make the best parents, right? So congrats. That's huge.
Thank you.
I won't ask
Hell
what
yeah,
games
man.
you've been playing
Congratulations.
because I know you haven't.
What? That's not necessarily
Well,
true.
Really?
This is
Oh,
Brandon
I
Miracle
love
we're
it.
talking to.
That's right. I am Brandon Miracle, and I make it happen. So when Elle is sleeping, I try to get some game time in. I just replayed Spider-Man Remastered in anticipation of Spider-Man 2 later this year. Very excited. I also took the opportunity to finish Final Fantasy 16, which
Ooh.
took me much longer than I thought it would. That game is deceptively long.
I
Um,
wish
I
I
gotta
could
get to
talk
that.
about what I've been playing.
I
10
know.
days. 10 days and I'll tell you
Soon.
all about it.
But FF16 was fantastic. I loved it. I hope some of the rest of you can finish it, because I'd love to talk to someone about it.
Yeah, it didn't grab me. I need to try it again, but now I have Ubisoft sent me over a code for Assassin's Creed Mirage, and I really want to try that. That is next on my list because, again, I love a short game, and somehow games are starting to trend shorter again, and I'm really happy about
I
that.
love that.
Thank God.
More shorter games. More
Please.
shorter games.
Yes, please. But Daniel, what have you been up to?
Similar to what Ash was talking about, we went to the demo to play Mario Wonder. The footage I grabbed, my hand is still hurting because I recorded that one-handed and playing the game at the same time. So yeah, that was an experience. But that was so fun. That's the same demo as we played at PAX, so everyone can get a chance to play that now.
Right.
Other than that, similar to Brandon, I finally finished Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, there
it
we
also
go.
took much longer
you-
than I thought it would take.
Jealous.
I didn't know
'Cause,
that. Okay.
That game has some low lows, but also some
Sure
very
does.
high highs. That game will have its peaks and valleys, and I think I can definitely see why some people aren't as into it, because there are some moments where it just kind of drags on, and boy, does that game really like take its sweet time with certain things. But when it gets to the highs, my God, it eclipses most things I've ever seen in any Final Fantasy game, and boy, are they at least worth seeing for the spectacle of it.
Nice.
But,
I got to get to it. I have to play it before Game of the Year discussions. I have to somehow. I was going to say I have to fit it in, but wording.
16 would be a great candidate for a director's cut. Just snip the parts
Mhm.
that really don't need to be there,
Yeah.
and make it a tighter experience. Because my final time, I think, was like 61 hours. I did all the side quests and everything, but there was still content in
Oh.
the game I didn't finish. That's a
Yeah.
lot of game.
That is.
Yeah,
I was
I've heard the
absolutely
side
doing.
quests. Oh, good.
Yeah, I was absolutely doing as many side quests as I could until I got to maybe like 80% done, and I was just like, I gotta get I gotta get through this before all these games come out and I don't ever get to it ever again. So that would be interesting to talk about, though, you and me, Brandon, or if we can find somebody else we know that's finished 16, because we haven't had any chance to really talk about it with anybody yet, not even each other.
Right. I've heard you really have to go out of your way to really not get caught up in doing all the side quests if you just want to finish the game, and I heard they're very backloaded too. Like it's not until
Oh,
totally
yeah.
close to the end that you get a bunch of side quests opening up, right?
Yeah.
I think they throw nearly 20 at you as soon as like the final thing happens and you're ready to
Ugh.
take on the end.
Just
Uh-huh.
those games.
Boom, mountain
Okay.
of side quests.
That's
Yep.
annoying. Okay.
And they all feel so important to the story. They're all fully voiced. They're all like
Oh, do
actually
they?
impactful
Okay.
things happening to other characters surrounding your circle of people. And it's just like I feel like I'm missing some things because I didn't do all of them. So that's just
You can't
one of the
even
curses.
do a lot of them unless you've done all the ones beforehand. It's could be better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, oh, you know what? One thing I want to point out is that I love that we have this energy of all of us, well, the two of us here talking about lessons we've learned from streaming from bathtubs. I just to share a quick anecdote with our audience about how my night went following that last episode of GVGcast.
Oh no.
I was actually not very uncomfortable. However, I had to set up like a whole studio's worth of equipment in the bathroom, as I'm sure Ash did as well. So like lights, camera, microphone, laptop. And I like to eat during the bathtub streams because it just adds to the ambiance. So I took a shot of Everclear right before I hopped in to stay warm. And
no.
my sister had dropped off a bag full of snacks that I did not have a chance to review, which is why you might have seen me fiddling around with a can of SpaghettiOs at the end because I was trying to figure out, do I go for it? No. I still had to have a little bit of dignity. But what I didn't realize was she pulled a fast one on me and gave me nothing but expired food to eat during that stream. And
Oh,
so
no. Why would you do
I
that on
was
purpose?
so sick to my stomach all night following that episode.
Of course you were.
Oh,
Which,
no.
I mean,
But she-
I have to say, fair play. That was pretty good.
Is it?
I mean, she played me like a fiddle. She knew I wouldn't look. I
Well,
pulled,
yeah,
I,
but
pulled,
you got sick.
I pulled out
That's
one of
not a
those
good thing.
things of string cheese, and I was like, you little bitch. I can't believe this. How dare you? I mean, I'm
I
fine
love how
now.
laissez-faire you're being about this. Oh, I got food poisoning
Oh.
on purpose. It's okay though.
I
It's all
wou've-
played for laughs.
I would have done the
I'd
same
be
thing to
pissed.
her. She knows it too. Like if she
Fair
was,
enough.
if she was ever in a situation where I could make that work, I would. So, and now I have a good
love it.
reason to. I'm coming for you, little sister. your days are
Game is
numbered.
on.
That's right.
Oh, no.
That's right. She's just given me good reason to deliver retribution. Speaking of deliveries, we got a couple of super chats here. One of them already pretty much answered. Shadow Mwapwe with $2. Brandon, how much sleep have you gotten? That sounds about right. Thank you for the super chat. And Rec BCQ with $2 just saying moisture, which I'm gonna
There's a lot
assume
of moisture
is
in here right
yeah,
now.
it's
Can tell you
either-
that much.
referring to Ash's situation or their own, but either way, someone's having a good time. All right.
Duckies aren't on camera. Now I had to get them front and center here. How
I
could I
know
not have them?
I didn't want to call you out, my man, but you are frozen.
Yeah,
But-
well, so like right. Oh, am I
How
frozen?
fitting.
Really?
yes.
Why am I
You-
frozen?
visibly
No.
Yeah, you're like
What
in a
happened?
really great pose. You look fantastic.
Ah,
This
what
is
happened?
flattering.
All right.
It could have been worse.
I'm gonna like move around uncomfortably to try to unfreeze my camera.
All right. Well, while he does that, let's go ahead and jump into the news. And
Oh wait, sorry. One more thing, Steve, really quick. We got birthday shout outs.
oh, right. I'm sorry. Birthdays. So we got a ton of birthdays this week. We've got Super Duper Pooper Scooper on the 2nd, Mock on the 4th, Base Forever on the 4th, Beert J 373, who is today. Happy birthday. Top Dog, our resident Mario Party super fan, on the 7th. Happy birthday to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful day or had a wonderful day. But yeah, a lot of birthdays within the GVG community this week. So thank
Happy
you for being
birthday.
with us, and thanks for
Happy
sharing your
birthday.
birthdays with us.
Yeah.
Happy fucking birthday. All right. You know what I want for my birthday? I want these Animal Crossing Legos that got announced. Oh, there we go. We've
Oh
got
my
Ash back.
God.
Are we back? Okay, cool.
Daniel,
I think I know what
I
happened.
feel you feeling feelings through the internet. Tell me where your head's at.
Why didn't they do this in 2020? Do you
Right.
know how fast these would have flown off the shelf if during quarantine when everyone's playing Animal Crossing, they would have been able to like build their own villages and such, or at least whatever capacity they're planning on doing so far? Because it was pretty much a teaser trailer, wasn't it?
Yeah. All we
Right.
got was the minifigs and the balloon sailing off, and that's all I need, really. I know I'm gonna buy them.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'll go broke. God. And you can imagine they couldn't like sell expansion of villagers in the future. They could do everything with this because it's just all about building your own island and all that. So the potential is limitless right now, and it's Lego.
I have always wanted to get that set of Animal Crossing villager homes that I think were released in Japan. It may have been for City Folk. I can't remember which game. But I always wanted to build like a little model town out of Animal Crossing. And the fact that we're getting Lego, that is so exciting because now I can do that.
So perfect.
It's really cool looking. You all know I'm more of a casual Animal Crossing fan, but I watched the trailer. It is really cute, and I was kind of tempted. I might wait until they expanded though, because my favorite villager is Reese, and she's not present and accounted for yet. So I might wait to see if they do some sort of expansion and add more villagers, because Reese might pull me in. She's always been my favorite.
Man, I personally really want Rover, but I would be shocked if we didn't get Raymond with how popular he ended up being.
Oh yeah.
I'm shocked he's not in the trailer. I've seen people already talking about how they're gonna open a black market for trading Raymond minifigs in real life.
Yes. When reality imitates art, or however that goes.
Yeah, life imitates art.
Life imitates art.
Yeah, it's interesting. I saw Rebecca Stone, our friend who was on back in the TNT days. She mentioned that Tom Nook is going to make her go to debt in real life now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Probably.
Yep, that's how it goes. Gosh, I want to do I hope I can do a little stage with KK Slider. Like, there's so many little set pieces you can do that I can think of. Like, there might be a Roost Cafe, you could do a museum, a campsite. Like, oh my god, the possibilities, man.
Right?
Build your village in real life. We can do it now.
Yeah.
And it is really weird to me that characters like KK Slider aren't even in the teaser trailer. You would think that they'd put him front and center as well, because I mean it's a assortment of random villagers, but then you have Isabel, Cap'n, and Tom Nook, all of which I think are really important. But yeah, it does seem very strange to me, the selection of villagers they put there. I mean, I'm hoping that we get all of them.
I have a sneaking
eventually,
suspicion, and I hope that I'm wrong, that they're gonna blind box these villagers.
Oh, I'd be so mad.
So mad, but would suck.
I'd buy so many of them though. Right?
I want to be wrong, but
Take
I
it back,
feel like
Brandon. They'll do it because you said it. It's
ring the bell.
They did it with the amiibo cards. They'll be in series just like back then. Series 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, we know Nintendo watches all these shows, so since you're watching Nintendo, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them.
Nintendo, if you're watching, 6 copies of Mario Wonder, please. Just send those.
Yes.
I mean, if you're watching, you know, blind box all the villagers. Just send us a bunch of Mario Wonder.
Yeah.
Fine.
Please,
it's a fair
trade. Thank you.
Blind box them all.
We'll
screw everybody else. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can suffer immeasurably, so we don't have to pay $60 for Mario Wonder.
Right.
So,
hey, I'm already
I love
suffering
you.
immeasurably.
Yeah.
I'm already suffering.
On the topic of Lego, I've recently gotten into a new hobby. It's Lego. Spoiler alert.
No way.
Okay. No.
Pikmin Jacob on YouTube and Twitter has been making Monster Hunter builds.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
Look at that.
So he has a Patreon where he puts all of his instructions, and I decided to check it out. And holy crap, guys, this is so sick.
That's actually really
That is cool.
Has Brandon entered his Lego era? His Lego
I think
arc
I
now?
have. Uh-oh.
Has he made an extremely
That's
suggestive Kezu yet?
Oh god, that's definitely on the list. I'm working on Logia Cruise right now. But Kezu's gonna happen.
Oh god. John will have to make another video about it.
Oh no.
All right. Well, I like the Legos, but I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about there. Where there is a whole lot to talk about, unfortunately, is that apparently Jennifer Hale made just $1,200 for voice acting in MGS1. Now this is a unique story because Ash, your dad was an MGS. He was Gray Fox, wasn't he?
So, well, he was in the Twin Snakes. He was not in the original.
Right.
Jennifer Hale was in the original.
Mm-hmm.
So a bit of a different thing there, but yeah, I mean, I'm lucky enough to know Jennifer as a friend through my dad. So like, she's basically seen me grow up. I've known her for years and years, but I never knew this. And I know that she knows that I love Metal Gear, but I had never known this, of course. And so I saw her at PAX, and of course I didn't know this when I saw her, because I would have loved to ask her about it. Like, I mean, her role in that is Naomi Hunter. It's a main role. It's like an iconic role. It's not like this side, tertiary character. She's a big deal in that. And the game apparently, the original PS1 game apparently went on to make about $176 million,
Right.
and she got 1,200 of it. It makes me wonder what like David Hayter and Cam Clark and them got too, but that's just, I mean, it kind of underscores why we're seeing this voice actor strike, against the industry now. Obviously, this is way after 1998, but it seems like a lot of those problems, like no residuals and things like that, are still, a real problem in the industry.
The unfortunate reality with voice acting in video games is that it's one of the least like well-paying type of voice role you can get. That and anime dubbing are like at the very bottom.
At the bottom.
Yeah.
The union rates for voice acting a video game is $250 an hour in studio with a 2-hour minimum. So like if you go into a game and you voice for like 20, 30 minutes, you made $500 and that game could go on to sell millions.
Right.
And that just blows.
Yeah, I feel like some talent has to have gotten better deals at this point. I mean, it is worth noting, and I'm not making excuses for it, but it is worth noting that Metal Gear Solid, the PS1 release, was recorded in the mid-90s, where obviously $1,200 felt like a lot more than it feels now. Not to say that's excusable, but it's still pretty damn low. And two, like these days, I feel like it's more about the studio you're working with and less about like an industry standard rate and the caliber of the talent, right? We had that Bayonetta controversy where we found out that what was it? Helena Baker was kind of Helena Taylor, sorry, was giving us only a really kind of myopic view of the situation, not giving us the full story, and by extension making voice talent look kind of bad.
Oh god, the way she handled that could not have been worse.
Yeah, exactly. And so I do think that there are better deals coming around. Thankfully, like the age of social media has helped, but there's still a lot of work to be done. This in particular seems really bad because of the fact that it was such a spectacularly successful game. But I mean, we live in a world where hindsight's really 2020, right? And we all know that Metal Gear Solid kicks ass. But back then, when you were just hiring the voice talent for that game, nobody knew for sure that Metal Gear was going to do well at all. It seemed exciting, but nobody had played anything like it up to that point in time. It could have, even though it seems ridiculous now, could have failed. Jason in our YouTube live audience is saying that 1,200 in 1998 cash is about 2,300 today, which that's still not a lot. That's
still not nearly enough. No.
Yeah.
Not nearly enough.
That's not keeping the lights on, that's for sure. I don't know how much work she did for that game. Like, I know who she voiced, but I'm just not sure. I don't know that she mentions the hours she put in, but still, for a character that's really well liked and an excellent performance that was rendered, that's not really a good amount of money. But
well, I mean, I would say that of all of Snake's team members, minus the Colonel, like basically, other than the Colonel, she probably has the most voiced lines out of any who isn't Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, or Meryl, or again the Colonel. But like, she's a major secondary character. I mean, hundreds of lines, I would think, because the whole Gray Fox thing. She's like super involved in. She has the relationship with the Gray Fox, and trying to be vague here for people who might be playing MGS1 for the first time soon with the Master Collection. But she's got hundreds of lines in that game.
Yeah, that's absolutely valid. I think that it's kind of a weirdly, like, it's a crappy situation, but it's really far in the rear view now, and it's really hard to use that as kind of a wedge against the current state of the industry, even though the industry itself definitely has major problems. That's why they're facing a strike. But I mean, look back at anything any of us did in the mid 90s and we're probably like,
true. Also, Alpha Line, you're right. Other than Otacon as well. My bad. Yes, of course, Otacon is, he would have more lines as well. And Becca also makes a great point in our live audience chat, saying the giant elephant in the room is also, since she's a woman, she probably got paid way less than her male counterparts. And I bet that is absolutely true.
That was I was going to say that was even truer in the 90s than it is today.
100%. And she's Jennifer freaking Hale too. She's like a voice acting legend.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, was she though back then?
I'm
legitimately asking because I don't know.
She wasn't as ubiquitous as she is today, but she was still a name back then, I would say. Not the name she is today, but she was still known, I would say.
It was really early for voice acting and voice acting in games in general. That was a very new thing at that point.
True.
So
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate how the situation has panned out. Like even today, there's still problems with the voice acting communities, payments, and getting work, finding work, having people pay them. I'm fortunate enough to know some voice actors out there, and even big companies don't pay them on time or a fair amounts, and it's a problem that's still happening today. That's why you see strikes. That's why you see unionizing, and I'm just hoping that things can get better for them and that these situations aren't just going to keep continuing, because they've been a problem for a very long time. Like there's still actors, there's still artists that contribute to these, and some of them get paid well, but there's still a lot that don't, and that's just a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that,
Residuals.
that's right.
Where's those residuals?
I mean, I remember my dad was talking to me about residuals a long time ago, like even when he did the Twin Snakes. And one of the reasons he told me years and years and years ago, the reason he doesn't do more games is because you get such a bum deal often working on games. You don't get the kinds of residuals like you do with cartoons, for example. Not all cartoons, but some. And he's certainly gotten residuals for a lot of the cartoons he's worked on. So that's one of the reasons he told me a long time ago that he just doesn't do as many game roles, because there's just not as much money in it.
Interesting. I mean, that's something I feel like the industry in general is not a very open industry, but what they pay their talent is really depressingly opaque. Like you don't know anything about it, right? But yeah, I'd probably say, please give your voice talent more money. They deserve it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
And don't hire AI to replace them.
Oh my
for
God,
the love of God.
The fact that even has to be said. The
That's
fact that
another
even
can
has
of
to be
worms.
said.
to jump
Just think
into.
of all those Bubsy residuals my dad could have gotten over the years. Just all that lost money from Bubsy residuals. Jeez.
Obviously, yeah.
There's contracts that voice actors have to look through now to make sure that they don't say anything like, "Oh, your voice might be used for AI in a future thing," and they have to make sure that isn't something that they sign for, because it's just another stupid step that people are going through to try and cheap out on certain actors' talents, and it's infuriating.
You'll have
It's so
companies that
frustrating.
throw literature in their contracts that's just kind of throwaway, and it'll include stuff like that. And some of them probably aren't even aware. Like, just tell them. I've heard situations where actors have fired back on contracts, and they were like, "Oh snap, we'll remove that. Sorry."
Right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That is mortifying. All right, but let's go back to some happier thoughts for a little while. That news is whew. I hate people being exploited, but anyway, I don't have a good segue for that. I can't come up with one, so fuck it.
But what? Yeah.
Run with it.
But people being exploited sucks, but Mario Wonder looks cool, which it does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
Mario
Hell
Wonder,
yeah.
yeah. Forget about exploitation. Mario. Anyway. That feels really awful. Anyway.
I know, right?
So we've got a small trio of Mario Wonder news pieces this episode. And one in particular interested me because it mentions that Mario Brothers Wonder initially had collision in its multiplayer, which I've always found annoying in multiplayer Mario games.
Yeah.
Because there's always someone who's like, I'm going to stand right where you need to land, Mario. And I'm going to wait for you because it brings me joy to watch you try. And that would have definitely taken the wind out of Mario Wonder a little bit for me, or at least the multiplayer of it. So basically, they were speaking to, it looks like Rolling Stone, of all places, was speaking to Shiromori, the director of Super Mario Wonder, about removing collision. And he offered the following. He said, "When we took the leap of faith and removed collision, we realized that it removes a lot of the stress. For example, when you have a narrow platform that you have to jump to, when somebody is there, they just get in the way." And there's still like ways to interact with people. There's still ways in which you can do that. You can put up standees. You can offer power-ups to your friends. You can start rooms with just friends. I would have liked for the option to exist for collision.
I agree.
Because more options is always a good thing in my opinion. But I will say I'm pretty happy with how the game seems to be shaping up. I attended a Zoom virtual demo with Nintendo this week, and they showed me Mario Wonder. Like, they played it, and I just watched, and I was like, cool. It's like when your big brother gets a new game, and you just have to sit there. But they played Mario Wonder. I was like, you guys are so rad. Can I play? And they're like, no, of course not. But I got to see some multiplayer and how the friend setup worked and all that stuff, and it was really cool. So I was very happy to see the game. I think I'm the only one on this call who hasn't played it. Brandon, have you
I
played?
haven't either.
Solidarity,
Oh,
my
I
friend.
forgot you haven't played it, Steve. Yeah, I forget.
Yeah,
that.
I didn't go to PAX this year, and
Right.
I was too busy moving to this basement that I live in now, and I did not get a chance to try the Mario Wonder demo, and I've seen it at stores, but I did what anybody in my position would do. I tried to bribe a GameStop manager to let me capture directly from their demo unit so we could have direct feed, and he was like, "Get out of here."
Absolutely not.
I was like, all right, it was worth the shot.
Yeah, right. I love that you even asked, though. I appreciate the hustle.
It's all about the hustle, baby. I was like, hey, can I just, I don't know, open up your Switch demo unit you're not supposed to let me touch and hook some stuff up to it and capture footage that you're not supposed to let me have? And they're like, no.
It was weird
steal
for
your
me.
demo data.
Yeah.
Because I was the only one in the store at the time that I went yesterday. So, like, this guy just comes in and like, of course, the demo kiosk is at the door to, like, you know, the exit, the entrance, the exit. And the counter is like all the way to the back of the store. So, like, I glanced back every, you know, minute or so. I'm looking, and these guys are clearly watching me. Like, who's this asshole in here awkwardly trying to fumble with a controller, recording the screen? Like, who is this guy? What is he doing? And thankfully they didn't actually, like, approach me. I think they were just confused by me, but they're like, well, as long as he doesn't break shit, they're not gonna, you know, I guess it's okay. But, like, who is this guy? So yeah, it was an awkward, and of course the store was quiet too, and it was just them and me, and I'm like, oh my god,
You should
have
have gone full YouTuber and been like, oh my god, you guys, I'm playing Mario Wonder. I have Mario Wonder. Just pretend like you actually got it somehow.
yeah.
Scream at your phone.
Nothing like the looks I got balancing a phone on the controller connected to
I
like
bet.
the extension, trying to get footage while playing.
That's
Almost
just
dropping things like
impressive,
twice.
man.
Yeah.
Seriously impressive, dude. I got footage, like, around the stage itself, and I figured, well, it's the same demo. We got the video for the PAX demo up, but man, you were balancing your phone while you were playing. I am super impressed by that.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That's dedication.
I did what I could. Gotta make it work. Gotta get that footage some way or another.
The whole collision thing, I think, is pretty interesting because a lot of people, when they first saw that online multiplayer, they were like, oh, it's not real multiplayer. You can't interact with each other. And now I'm here like, well, you can't interact with each other offline either. So it's just the same experience.
Honestly, at least to, you know, I think, Daniel, you probably agree, but of course, tell me if you don't. But just when we played together at PAX, it did feel less stressful. It felt like there was more room to breathe and just play the game without constantly having to worry about jumping into one another or, like, jumping on top of each other, which would mess up both our jumps and things like that. It just felt more free form and, like, a little less stress. Although, Steve, I agree with you. More options are always better. And I've seen enough pushback from people out there that really wanted that collision that I do kind of wish it was an option. But if I had to choose, no collision's way better, in my opinion.
Agreed. I think it keeps the flow of the game working, which multiplayer often kind of breaks in Mario games, I find. Like it slows down people. I don't know what it is. Nintendo can't do netcode for Mario to save their lives. Mario Kart, fine. 2D Mario, it's over.
It also allows the level design to be tailored to one player.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about that space and everything. So I think the game is just going to be designed better as a knock-on effect from that.
Yeah, I agree. Right. We did get more by way of interviews. Nintendo has clearly been letting media go hands-on with Mario Wonder, and I know for a fact, because I follow Brian Shea on Twitter, that he got to play Mario Wonder twice. You son of a bitch! And he went to both New York and I think Seattle as well to play Mario Wonder, or to Redmond, where Nintendo's campus is. But during his sessions with that, he got to speak to Takashi Tezuka, and he had some comments on the proximity between Sonic Superstars and Mario Wonder. He offered the following. He said, "I think it's an interesting coincidence. We've been creating 2D action games for a long time, and we, of course, want as many players as possible to enjoy those games. We're looking forward to as many people as possible having the opportunity to play these 2D side-scrolling action games, Mario and otherwise." And I kind of hinted at it or mentioned it earlier, but I had like a little Zoom call with Nintendo earlier this week. It's not like a secret embargoed thing. They just wanted to show me stuff that they've got coming up. Nothing that you don't know about, I promise. We're not that cool. But they actually promoted Sonic Superstars, as something we should be looking at. And I'm like, you're talking to the wrong people. Our minds were made up months ago. But Sonic Superstars looks to be excellent. I'm really excited for it, and getting these games within like 3 days of each other is excellent. I'm so happy that I'll have two seemingly very competent 2D side scrollers to play.
I'm so
Back to the
excited.
90s,
I
baby.
need Sonic in my life.
yeah.
I need both, but I'm
Yeah.
so excited to play Superstars first. I think because that'll be shortest, and I always need a new 2D Sonic in my life. So bring it on. I'm so excited.
I will say I'm actually much more excited for Wonder than for Sonic, and
Sure.
they're both
I think most people are. Yeah.
really cool looking games, but I think I just view Wonder as being far more experimental than
Sure. It is.
than
It'll
Superstars.
seem
Like I know what to expect with
Yeah.
Superstars, and I'm a bit more ready to be surprised by Wonder.
I think, yeah, like gameplay wise, I'm definitely more looking forward to the creativity Wonder has on display. Aesthetically, I'm more excited about Sonic. The visual, like level designs, the visuals, the music, that part has me more excited about Sonic. But like just all the crazy creativity on display in Wonder, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Anybody have any closing thoughts on Wonder before we move on?
It's just nice to not have a cookie cutter Mario game. We got something
Yes!
brand new.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I can't wait for the ensuing discussions we have about that game because I think it's
Yep.
going to be a really good time. But anyway, if you want to go ahead, Daniel. Sorry.
I'm looking forward to seeing how multiplayer works as well. I was just like back a few minutes on the conversation because I totally blanked out
gotcha.
on my camera. But yeah, that sort of thing. I wonder if they did the no collision the way they did, just because probably compensating for some of the Wonder effects that you don't even know about yet. One of them being like how you are in the back, you're walking as if the wall is. How do you describe it? You're in like a 3D position, and you're like walking on the backdrop, and you're in a different, completely a top-down situation. Like, how would that work with collision? I wonder. They probably didn't want to bother doing anything with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. Probably some situations like that also cause that, but it's also nice to just not have that there because now, as I think we mentioned earlier, we can focus on the game as if it was made for one player. The only real thing you have to do is just kind of stay on the same screen together. That's like the only thing you have to really cooperate with, and not just like leave someone behind or go too far ahead, because it does focus on just one character. Whatever character finishes the stage, the camera will focus on them in the next stage that you play on. So that's kind of a reason to reach the goalpost first, I think.
Nice. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on it and figure it out for myself eventually. Which, side note, why did the UK get all the cool pre-order bonuses again for this game? Like, you got like a talking flower statue and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It's upsetting. I'm just saying that. It bothers me. But yeah, it does feel like the 90s all over again, like Brandon mentioned, with Sonic and Mario releasing kind of neck and neck with each other. And I kind of want to keep the 90s vibe going. So let's talk about Final Fantasy VII and the recent news of the official pronunciation for Kate Sith. I guess is how we're supposed to say it. I will admit, I said it this way all the time because I didn't know how the hell to read that in 1997. Like I was like,
same here.
Sure, Kate Sith, baby. But some folks are up in arms, and I believe it's supposed to be what, Ketchi?
Ketchi.
Yeah, Ketchi is how you actually pronounce it in its original Gaelic, is for what I understand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's so Ketchi is like a Gaelic folklore cat-like character, as far as I understand it.
Yeah.
So this is like based on an actual, and I guess that's why people are up in arms. It's like I always knew it as Kate Sith originally, and then I learned later that it was actually Ket Shi, and so I'm like, I get why people are up in arms about it because it's like a folklore character. At the same time, I also get why there's the disconnect there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm of two minds on this because I think back to when I reviewed Ghost of Tsushima, and the main character in that game is named Jin Sakai, and every fucking comment under that video was like, good old Jin, like a Gene Sakai. I'm like, it's not Jin. There's no Jin. Like, that's not a word in Japanese. You fucking monsters. Like, go read a book. And these, I guarantee you a lot of these same folks are like, actually, it's Ket Shi, baby. I'm well-versed in Gaelic. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You just aren't. And
to be fair, though, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's weird though, because they're keeping it Ket Shi in the Japanese version.
Right, they are, and that's one of the things I find interesting, right? And
so, do they not trust English speakers to know the difference? I'm confused.
Yeah, it's weird that they're keeping it, faithful in one but not the other. And that's the other thing is like, Steve, I agree with you. I think there are a lot of people who are just posturing, right? But I also do think there are people out there with, the relevant lineage who probably are actually like, oh, I feel like this is being a little appropriated. And I respect that. Like, so I get why the people who aren't just posturing, the people who actually have a dog in this fight, I do get why they're upset. I get it. I sympathize.
Yeah. So the thing for me though is, one, it was Ket Shi in Japanese in the 90s on PlayStation 1. Mm-hmm. So I'm fine with that. Like, in Japanese, it was written Ket Shi back then. So if you grew up with the game in the 90s, you were saying Ket Shi in Japan. So it's not like they retconned it back to the appropriate pronunciation. And I understand that we are not using the appropriate pronunciation. And this is where I think Square Enix finds themselves in a bind, because there's no right move with Final Fantasy fans. Because you're going to end up, you either say Kate Sith, which makes a certain group of folks mad, or you say Ket Shi, and then everyone's going to be like, what the fuck? What'd you do? Zack's back now, and now you're calling this motherfucker Ket Shi. This isn't the Final Fantasy I know. I watched the quartering, and he told me this is bad because it's cultural.
God. It's Square Enix and them saying that both of them are right. Just the same thing with Titus and Titus back in the day. Like, you had a pronunciation in Kingdom Hearts where it was Titus, but now they say it's Titus, and it's like, well, whichever one makes you happy. I don't care. just say the one.
Dragon Ball's actually done the same thing, because like notoriously they pronounce Saiyan wrong.
Yeah,
it should be Scion.
Exactly.
Or like,
which is a play on the word vegetable, for fuck's sake.
But it persisted for so long in the Americas that it's just Saiyan now. They can't go back.
Right.
Too long.
Sorry, I have to defend myself against
Steve. As you said, Steve, it's a problem with no obvious solution. No matter what they do, as you said, Square's damned if they do, damned if they don't. The Final Fantasy fan base is, as you said, very hard to completely satisfy. So, I get it's a weird position they're in. But I understand why the people who are a little bit like, oh, I feel like my culture is being appropriated. I understand why.
Yeah,
but I also get that Square Enix are in a impossible position here.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many, there's no right way out of this. And I do agree that if you feel like your culture is being appropriated, I find that unfortunate, and I feel for you. I think Square Enix is just trying to think what will piss the least amount of people off. I truly think that's what the calculus is. Like, okay, we know it's supposed to be Ket Shi. It says so in the original Japanese. We wrote it like this. American people aren't going to know how to say it. They're going to say Kate Sith. Like, right. Because to be fair, that's what happened to me when I read it. I was like, Kate Sith. All right.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
And so I think they're just going with, this is what legions of fans know this character name to have been for years. I was fortunate enough that my history teacher in high school was Scottish, and he knew how to say it. And I was like, I'm still going to call it Kate Sith because that's how it reads to me. but
yeah.
I think it's just one of those things where there's no right answer. I think old school fans like me, well, not like me, but old people of my age bracket may find themselves like, they'll be upset like, hey, I always thought it was Kate Sith. They don't want to be wrong now. We're all old now. We don't want to be wrong about anything ever again. We're done being wrong until we die at this point. Yeah, I just think that this is one of those rock and a hard place. I feel for the folks at Square because they're just trying to do the right thing, and maybe they flubbed to this call. But yeah, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation.
Ability King in the YouTube chat says Cloud in the original Japanese is Kurado. Well, that's just a romanization.
Romanization,
It's just Cloud.
Yeah. There's differences. So typically foreign names in Japanese are written in katakana, which is why most Final Fantasy VII names are all in katakana. Like, his name is still Cloud Strife. Barrett Wallace. Like, those all make sense. Tifa Lockhart. Like, if you understand Japanese and you read those, like, the only one that gets really kind of iffy is Aerith versus Aerith, because there's no TH sound in Japanese. You would use the same SU. So, Square chose to do Aerith, and then sometimes they've chosen to do Aerith. Like, I don't know. It's whichever one you like, I guess.
Now they just committed.
Yeah. Like, we're locked in. I mean, so yeah, I know that Max Dude tweeted that as well, but he was doing that as a joke. Like, yeah, Cloud's name is Kuraldo, so why don't we call him? I get it.
Speaking of Max Dude, he did a really good video on this whole subject, so you should definitely check it out. It's a really interesting video, and he covers the subject very well.
Yeah. Either way, you're probably not going to. This is a situation where nobody wins. It's just a kind of a situation where people are going to be mad no matter what. Pick your side, be on that side, and play the game. It's probably going to be cool, man. Like, it's probably going to be a really great game.
Exactly.
That's the one thing I know. Regardless of how you say it,
the
he's
most
a cat
important
riding
thing.
a stuffy, and the game's going to kick ass. Like, those are. I'm fine with it. I'm also fine with this next story. The Last of Us Part 2's multiplayer spinoff is reportedly basically on ice, though not completely canceled. So if you haven't been following things, Naughty Dog laid off a bunch of folks, I believe. And then, I don't know, man. I love The Last of Us. I thought The Last of Us Part 2 was an excellent game. I didn't care about this at all. This is not something that I had any interest in.
I didn't play much factions. I think I dabbled in factions, for the original Last of Us. It was cool, but not really my thing. So for me, I'm not like, mourning the potential death of this multiplayer spinoff for the Part 2. I know there are people out there who are really upset by this, and I feel for them. I'm just not one of those people. I feel way worse, obviously, for all the people who were laid off at Naughty Dog. This is just a footnote to me, and I would rather them all been able to keep their jobs. Not that one is equal to the other, of course, or affects the other. But yeah, I think that's the real story here, is that all the layoffs, occurred. But yeah, I kind of had a feeling from the get-go, though, that this multiplayer spinoff was never going to see the light of day, because it's been perpetually delayed, it feels. I'm not really that surprised.
Same. I mean, it's just nothing that I ever wanted. Go ahead, Brandon.
I don't know. I just agree with Ash. I think the writing was on the wall even from when it was first announced, because they really had nothing to share. They just showed us like a piece of concept art, and that was it. And like you guys, I haven't played much factions myself, so I don't really have a point of reference for what this would even have been like. But I mean, multiplayer is just not really what I want out of Last of Us.
Right.
Like, I would have tried it, but not really what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
No, I was just going to say, I agree with that 100%. I feel like The Last of Us is a series that works best because it's not the gameplay of The Last of Us that really gets me into it. It's the narrative and the interplay between the characters. Like, because if you strip out all of the wonderful character moments in that series, it's just a guy like skulking around, occasionally stabbing a zombie. And that's not like a super engaging gameplay experience.
Right.
It's a pretty run-of-the-mill third-person action game at that point.
Hmm.
Right. I mean, I enjoy The Last of Us's gameplay just fine for sure. I think it's quite polished and it's a lot of fun when you're playing it. But as you guys said, I could play if I wanted to play a really good third person shooter. There are so many other games I could play. I'm there primarily and specifically for the narrative and the characters. That's just what The Last of Us is to me, and the atmosphere. Right. I could play any number of other shooters if I just wanted third person shooting.
Yep. Exactly. What about you, Daniel? I don't know if you actually vibe with The Last of Us at all.
I haven't really played as much as the rest of everyone else here, so there's not as much I can contribute to the topic, honestly.
All right,
Cool.
fair enough. Yeah, I wonder about this next one. This actually really excited me. So I don't know where you found this, Ash. So for those of you that don't know, Ash puts together our news doc for the show, and this next one, Ash wrote completely out of nowhere. A Dance Dance Revolution Classic Mini has been announced for crowdfunding.
Yeah.
And yes, please.
Well, this was posted in our own like newsroom channel of our Discord. It was also sent to me after the fact by our good friend Cutie Caitlin as well. But I'm also just kind of inured in Bimani news because I'm like a former like tournament DDR player, so I follow Bimani stuff still. And so this came across my desk, as it were, and I'm like, it's basically like the DDR arcade, like old school DDR arcade machine equivalent of like an NES Mini or an NES Classic, SNES Classic. It is literally a tiny DDR first mix machine that has an HDMI out. Then you can use the tiny dance pads as controllers, like you're playing one of the PS2 games or something. And you can just connect it to your TV, and it's apparently going to have a selection of songs from first, second, and third mix. Which, it's just, where did this even come from? And it's still even at the crowdfunding phase. This isn't even a thing yet. But I thought it was just kind of one of those like out of left field, really cool little things. Like if they actually get this thing made, it'll never come out in the U.S. But I'd like to track one down at some point.
I was going to
it's
say
not
I'll
something
have one.
I need, but I'd like one.
Well, so I watched the trailer during the show right now, and I was not with it until I saw at the very end they showed that they put the arcade machine next to a TV, and then they brought a full size dance pad that you could hook up to it, and I was like, I'm sold. That's
pretty
it for
cool,
me.
right?
I haven't played DDR. I gave up DDR when I started apartment living, and because nobody likes a DDR player in an apartment.
Oh, totally. I would always play in the arcades.
Yeah.
I know if I played here, like in my apartment, I'd get evicted right away.
Oh, right. Like I used to have people like slap their ceilings to get me to stop, and I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
I guess I gotta hang it up. Literally, I'm done. So I haven't played DDR in years, but now I'm like, you know what? I live in a basement now. I could do this. I could just have a DDR mat out and ready to play.
My wife and I want a DDR machine so bad. If we ever get a house with a garage, we both want like an actual full size DDR machine so bad.
See, I
so
always
cool.
wanted to get one of the hard controllers, like one of the ones that's not like a crunchy little mat like the old NES Power Pad. I want one that's like the actual like hard platform that you had in the arcade. But then I just want to play like the old releases on it. Because I don't need an arcade machine. I just want one that can hook up to consoles like that.
Fun fact: I actually built my own like hard DDR pad back in my tournament days. Like I actually, I bought the parts and engineered together a hard pad with its own bar. That, like I said, I was deep into DDR. Like I was a hardcore player, so I didn't mess around.
That is rad. I like that.
Yeah,
I wish
that was back when I was in shape. I couldn't play today the way I used to in my high school, college days. But back once upon a time, I was in amazing shape and a really good DDR player.
DDR fans and Taiko fans must be kindred spirits because Taiko fans do the same thing, building their own drums.
And 2DX fans too. 2DX with their deck controllers, like they're really hardcore about that.
Don't mess with rhythm gamers. They mean business.
In general, rhythm,
At the first place that I ever worked at, it was like a mini off an arcade, and in that arcade, a lot of the people that I worked with, they were really hardcore about DDR. They would just go play there whenever they're off shift, and we hacked that machine to be able to play any USB and just play any songs that we wanted to, anything that we can find online. from the basic songs that were on there already to
Yeah.
to songs from other games entirely to like anime intro songs to other weird meme kind of songs that were on there.
Uh-huh.
And it was just an experience back then to watch them all play those. But yeah, it's just, there's still a crowd that's very hardcore about it. It's great to see.
I mean, you're talking to that guy in terms of rhythm games. That's exactly like just in rhythm game. I bought oversized styluses for my 3DS because I have like, giant monster hands just so I could play theater rhythm better because I couldn't do it with the tiny little styli that come with the 3DS. So I had to actually like get oversized. Like, no. I don't play when it comes to rhythm games. And Brandon, you're so right. You don't want to mess with rhythm gamers when it comes to their preferred method of input into all their favorite games for sure. And yes, to answer your question, BC King Games in the YouTube chat, that Frozen 2 bottle does belong to me. This is my Glacial Grape Frozen 2 bubble bath. It smells awful. Also, I just want to mention, I am incredibly uncomfortable right now. I'm in so much pain. And also, the only reason I'm looking at my phone so much is because my laptop is too far away for me to read chat. So I'm not just zoning out. I'm actually looking at chat on my phone here. I promise.
Nice. All right. Well, that does it for the news for us. I'm going to read out these next couple super chats. We got one from Duck Lizard for $4.99. Who would you rather make a 3D Sonic game besides Sonic Team? Because it needs to happen. My vote is for Ciactro, the developer of the Tori games. I'm not familiar. Like at all.
I'm not either.
But
they're like retro N64 PS1 platformers.
Oh, okay.
That would be cool.
I'm not familiar. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and just go with because this is fucked up. I'm gonna say headcanon. They did a great 2D Sonic game. Let them do a 3D one.
Okay, it's a good one. I was gonna say Okami era Clover Studio because if you've played Okami, you know just how perfect the physics are in terms of moving, Amaterasu around the world. And, you feel the weight of her movements and it feels like you're playing as a wolf, or what I would imagine playing as a wolf to feel like. And so given how unique and fine the physics are in that game, I'd love to see their take on what it would feel like to be moving around and running around as Sonic, and like how that would realistically feel in terms of moving around the world and jumping around and stuff. I think they could have done really something pretty cool there.
All right.
Nintendo.
Yeah, that's fair. That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. How about
Daniel?
you, Daniel?
Oh god. I'm trying to think who would be working, who would be able to work with the 3D platforming space, also in like a vast, large area, but nothing really comes to mind. If I'm thinking of 3D platformers, I don't know. I thought of Double Fine real quick. That would be a interesting take. I don't know. I don't know really. I was listening to Psychonauts during that time, so.
Oh, okay.
Psychonauts is good.
Great game.
All right. With that, let's go ahead and move over to our patron topics. Whoa, wait, we've got one more super chat from Geisel Diesel. Did I say that right? I hope I did.
Diesel, I think.
Says, Steve, don't forget the roof stream. Name your price. To stream
God.
from the roof of my house.
The one that won't kill you because it's not as hot out there.
Yeah, that's true. I won't die. Well, unless I fall, in which case I probably will die. You know what? I'm going to put it high because you want me to stream from the roof of a fucking house. $255. Like the maximum number before it would roll over in an NES game.
I was going to say that wasn't accidental. You said 255 on purpose. I love it. That was not. Right. I was like, oh yeah,
that's a dangerous game.
Listen,
yeah,
that's
too low.
I have to take a laptop on a ladder up on the top of a house.
Add a 0 to that before I'm going up on the
roof. Might be raining. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't even have roof access in my apartment complex. I wish we did, because we did in my old one, and I'd go up there to watch sunsets all the time, but we can't access the roof in this complex.
Nice. Well, yeah, so that's what it'll be. Fair notice, though, for those of you that are plotting, I'm in the UK next week, so I won't be doing it on the next GVGcast. Also, I need time and to probably get my affairs in order. Like, maybe one of you can just, like, donate a casket on Patreon. But anyway, all right.
Oh, no.
Speaking of which, let's go ahead and jump into our patron topics for this week. For those of you that don't know, you can join us over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where you can join at the producer tier or above, and that'll let you submit topics for us to answer each and every week here on GVGcast. You can also do the same right here on YouTube using the membership button down below. That will allow you to also submit topics. We're still working that pathway out, but if you join, we'll make sure you get noted. Those will be in like a community post. But anyway, let's go ahead and start with our man in the tub. Ash, what is your topic this week?
Okay, I can't feel my legs anymore. Okay, anyway, my topic comes from Jason Uloa this week, who asks, let me get it up. I didn't know I was going first here. So, Jason Uloa, you asked this week, can you tell that I'm stalling? You asked...
Would you like me to read it for you?
It's Spooky Month.
Okay.
No, I got it. It's Spooky Month. What's your favorite spooky game? Why does it spook you? So yeah, it is Spooky Month. So I figure we gotta get a Halloweeny topic going here. My favorite spooky game ever is Silent Hill 3. Not 2, 3. It's my favorite Silent Hill game as well, but I have not ever played a game that has pulled me into such a overwhelming, domineering sense of just evil. And just pure darkness and evil. There were several times during Silent Hill 3 where I had to pause and just take a breather because it was just too freaking intense. And of course, you know, when I play horror games, Steve knows he's not a big horror game fan. I love my horror games. So when I play a scary game, I go all out. I play at night. I play with the lights off. I'm usually by myself. I have headphones on. Like I go for maximum fear mode, right? And, you know, I've gotten through various survival horror games that have scared me for sure. Fatal Frame is really good at that. But man, Silent Hill 3 has just has a special otherworldly feeling of just cultish type evil, like demonic summonings. And a lot of it is owed to the sound design. If you played Silent Hill, you know just how incredible the sound design is and how much it adds to the just horrifically scary, fearful atmosphere of these games. And Silent Hill 3, especially once you cross over into the other world and you hear all the clanging sounds, like the industrial metal scraping, clanging with like the really weird music and the weird pitches going up and down. It just all sounds really messed up, and I've never had a game scare me like Silent Hill 3 does. It also happens to have a really cool protagonist, and Heather, she's really neat. The story's great, especially as kind of the second part of the Silent Hill 1 story. It's like Silent Hill 1 and 3 kind of comprise two halves of the same story. And so there's a lot of really, I would just say, it's just very, it's a complete story. It feels like a really complete story, but it's scary as hell throughout. And so if I had to pick one spooky game to play each year at the Halloween season, it would be Silent Hill 3 for sure.
Nice. Brandon, how about you?
I'm pretty basic when it comes to this. I like playing Luigi's Mansion every October.
Hell yeah.
Just the original
Nice.
one. Not to say I don't like spooky games, because I certainly do, but Luigi's Mansion is like the only one I consistently replay. I'd also throw Metroid Prime into that. The original Metroid Prime has some kind of spooky moments. I can't remember what section of the game it is, but like the lights in the whole building go out and you have to fight space pirates in the dark. I always liked that section of the game. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say those two games.
Nice.
Cool.
How about you, Daniel?
Luigi's Mansion's a great one.
Oh man, yeah. I don't really do spooky games very much at all. I mean, this is probably recency, but Resident Evil 4 remake was a really good one. Honestly, that was my first time playing Resident Evil 4, so that if it's like actiony enough, if it's not relying too much on like the atmosphere and jump scares and all that, then I'm a little bit better about that. Funny enough, when Brandon mentioned Metroid Prime, I was thinking Metroid Prime 2 as the one I was most afraid of. The opening to that game is scary. Like you're just arriving here, there's Federation soldiers' bodies just everywhere. There's this one room you go into and they're just dangling from their necks and from their ankles from the ceiling. I'm just like, oh god, I don't know if I can play this game. They all kind of had that intro. Metroid Prime 1 also had a kind of spooky intro as well. It was something I wasn't prepared for, being a young lad at the time. And
You know
then
what?
I specifically remember I think it was in Prime 3 when you're in the sky area. There's a area where you first find the Metroids in that game, and we're walking through all these different corridors, and you see them kind of just floating around. They can't reach you.
Oh
But then when you get to
God.
the end, I think the power goes out, and then you have to exit that area, and you hear them shuffling through those vents that you couldn't see, and then you hear something break, and
Yep.
then all of a sudden you see them in the dark, and oh God. Metroid Prime is really good at applying horror elements if it
Yep.
wants to in their own subtle ways.
That part is so good. That part, it scares the hell out of me. It's so good.
Man, yeah, that was that's the one specific moment that I remember a lot. There's a lot of that game I kind of don't remember very clearly, but that one for sure.
Nice. That's awesome. Mine, and I actually thought it would get taken. Going back to the GameCube is Eternal Darkness.
Oh,
That
good
game
one.
is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
And then I remember playing that. Like that was back when I was still trying to convince myself I wasn't a coward, and so I would play it at night, headphones on, like Ash. The difference is I was probably like either having a heart attack or pissing my pants, but the insanity effects would get me every time. And then just some of the stuff that game says, like basically about how like life is meaningless and people search to find meaning in things that don't matter because our lives are empty. I was like, man, you're a fucking video game and I'm 22. This sucks.
What a feel good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a real good time for the whole family. Yeah, I hated it, but it was it is a super spooky game, and if you've never played it, try it. It might make you crazy. But, I think Ash Paulson he bathtubed out. He had his own sanity effect.
Oh,
He fell down the drain.
Homeboy
need
just
to-
logged off. All right. Let's
modern Eternal Darkness.
perfect that we got his question out of the way then. All right, so let's go ahead and looks like Brandon, let's go ahead and go with yours.
So mine comes from Becca's. It says, a lot of us wish we could play a certain game for the first time again. However, what game were you glad you revisited after not playing it for a while because you have a new perspective and appreciation for that game? Mine's Nier Automata. I dropped that game like a sack of potatoes real quick the first time, which is sad because I ended up going back and playing it like a year later, and I don't know what was different, but I stuck through it, and that game just did it. It just did it for me. That game is so good. I don't know.
Automata is amazing.
I don't know why I dropped it. I'm glad that I went back and tried it again.
It does things to you. It questions humanity and reality as you play that game, and you can't forget about that. The things that you see there.
That game is nothing short of incredible. And oh man, when you finally get to that last ending E, and the way it all comes, oh man, that whole sequence at the end, at the very true end of Nier Automata, is one of the most just transgressive, fourth wall breaking, just amazingly unique experiences I've ever had in a game.
It really is special. Yeah.
Wow. All right,
Let's
who have we
see.
not covered?
I'm still thinking of mine, so someone else
I'll
should still
go.
go before me. All right.
Surprisingly, you wouldn't expect this from me. Mine is Shin Megami Tensei 4 for the for the 3DS. I picked it up at launch because I had a friend who was super hype about it, and I played it. I was like, this shit's hard. I don't like this. And I put it down. I came back to it like a year later and ended up having a really amazing time with it. It warmed me up to the series as a whole, and I still have yet to play beyond 4 and 5, but I don't think I would have had even a passing interest in Persona or Tokyo Mirage Sessions without having first played that game. So I'm glad I came back to it because it made me appreciate like a whole new almost genre of games.
Nice.
That game.
Go ahead.
That game. So for that one you're talking about, Shin Megami Tensei 4 on 3DS, I was probably maybe like halfway, 75% of the way through the game, and then I had this was around the time it was to kind of date this moment. There were demos for Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS coming out at that time, and so I was waiting in line. It was like a Target or Best Buy somewhere in San Francisco that I went to, waiting in line for hours. The people behind me were talking about Shin Megami Tensei 4 in great detail, to the point where they were pretty much spoiling the different endings and the different endings you can get. And I'm like, please don't stop. And it was like, it killed my enthusiasm to keep playing the game. Like it's a hard game. Like it gets a bit easier as you go along. But I reached a point where I was just like, I didn't want to learn this yet. It was just such a stupid way, because I'm not going to leave the line. I'm waiting to play Smash Brothers over here. So I had to just kind of sit there and endure it. And I don't know. I wasn't the kind of person to, if it was today, I'd be like, yo, shut up. But back then I wasn't really the type to tell somebody, hey, can you please stop talking about this? I wasn't that kind of person. So that unfortunately sucked for me.
I'm so sorry.
It has a really good story to it. I really enjoyed the way that they told the story.
Man.
But
I had a friend who's
go ahead.
A friend's cousin. We were all at his house once, and he started doing the exact same thing with Undertale.
God, not Undertale.
The entirety of Undertale, all of it, everything he could have said, he said.
Oh man,
No.
I had to wait years
so
to
messed
forget
up.
as much as I possibly could before I could actually play that game.
Oh my God.
Ugh.
In better news, with Atlas making it funny as always, Atlas games. I didn't actually play through Persona 3 Fest. I went through maybe like 10 hours of the game, then I kind of stopped because I wasn't sure what I was, it reached a point where it was kind of that part where it kind of just drags along during the days and it wasn't really much happening. But I took I forgot, like half a year away from that, and I was just like, I want to just play this again. Like there were friends I talked to at the time, they were like, give it some time, give it a chance, and I was really just kind of interested in some of these characters, and so I eventually went back to it and started playing it again. Picked up where I left off, and I fell in love with the series. It's one of the best Persona games, and now here we are about to get a remake. So the way things come around.
Nice.
I have a fallback answer that I often use for questions like this, but I've told that story on the show before. I know I have, about Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. And then I played 6, then I went back to Mystic Quest and appreciated it for the weird place it occupies in the Final Fantasy, pantheon. But I thought of another one. This is a much better one. This is going to surprise everyone. So I didn't really take to the original Mega Man Battle Network when it first came out. I was like, yeah, Mega Man on Game Boy Advance, so cool, a new series. Yeah, I'm so into this. Then I played it for the first time. I'm like, I don't know. So I actually bounced off it, and I left it alone for I want to say a few months. And then I went back to it a few months later, and it clicked. And then it was one of those things where I could not put it down. I was playing every single second that I possibly could around all my responsibilities. And yeah, so I for whatever reason, the new Mega Man series, I didn't click with it right away. And I thought, and it wasn't because it wasn't a platformer. It just wasn't, I don't know. It just wasn't clicking for me. But then I kind of just took some time away and I was like, okay, I'm going to give this another shot. I'm going to start a new game, really try to be in the right frame of mind for this. And then it clicked. And I was a Battle Network fan ever since. Huge Battle Network fan, as you know, Steve.
Hell yeah.
But originally, I wasn't actually into it, surprisingly enough.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's everybody for that one. Daniel, why don't you give us your Patreon topic?
Well, this is an interesting one that I found. I don't really think about too often. It's from Wataniac asking, how often do you look at your friends, what your friends have played via built-in system features like profiles, the trending page on Switch, notifications that say, friend is now playing this, friend is now, or friends that play under the game section tabs on PS5 and Steam, etc. How does this affect you? And most importantly, how do you think this feature affects the gaming audience as a whole? It's interesting to see when I'm playing any kind of game, you'll see a title pop up of a recent title, someone's playing Tears of the Kingdom right now, somebody is playing something else that recently released, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's something that I've been playing as well. But then there'll be some people that have been playing a game, some obscure game from a while back. Somebody who's playing The World Ends With You final remix out of nowhere. Like they're just playing it and just like, whoa, like it's interesting to think like, what are they catching up on their backlog? Is there something that they want to just do before they play maybe the sequel? But mostly it's really interesting to look at your lists of like on the Switch, for example, your profile, and everyone just playing like, especially when they're all playing the same game at the same, your just list is just filled with everyone playing the exact same big title at the same time. Like I mentioned with Tears of the Kingdom, we're all just having this similar experience at the same time, and I think that's really cool. Like you don't see it, you're not actively talking about it all the time like we are, but there's a lot of people who are having the same experience. And I think that's just really cool to be able to know that people are doing this and that. But yeah, it's just like a different perspective of how to think about things, and it doesn't really affect like what I personally play. Like if I see someone playing something that I haven't played to yet, like I probably won't immediately just like jump on that opportunity. But I do like the fun little features we have like that. Like, oh, this many people have started playing this game. This many people have been playing this for this many hours, like that sort of thing. Although it does expose me for how many hours I put into things like Smash or something. Like I'm sure there are people that see me pop the game up and it's like 2 or 3 in the morning and they're like, what is he doing at this hour? Shouldn't he be sleeping?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like this feature in this generation a lot. Not as much on Nintendo because like you said, Daniel, like Nintendo fans ride waves, right? Like you see just a big first party game come out and everyone on your friends list is playing it. So I'm never really frequently very surprised by what I see on my Switch friends list. But on PlayStation, I'll get lots of like, you know, hey, these friends of yours are playing this. Like these guys just picked up this game. And I'll almost always click through to look at the game. Like if it's one I haven't heard of, I'm like, well, a lot of my friends are playing this. Maybe I should look at it. And it's gotten me a couple times. A couple times I've been like, I'll download that. I'll see if it's worth it. I've got enough friends that are playing it. The other thing, and I'll admit, I probably shouldn't admit that I do this. I'm sorry, Sony. But when they send me a game that I'm not, you know, well, not that I'm not supposed to have, but that isn't out yet, I will look at my friends list and see who else has that game. I'll be like, who else do I know that's reviewing this game right now? You're not supposed to, you're not supposed to be able to see it, but like 90% of reviewers forget that and they don't hide their activity. So I'm just like, I see you. And when I was new in the game, it happened to me all the time. Like I remember I was reviewing Assassin's Creed Unity years and years ago, and I suddenly got like a rando DM from someone I'd never met, and they're like, "How is it?" I'm like, "Shit." I'm like, "This is gonna go on Reddit later. Damn it."
I remember.
I am guilty of the same. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
I specifically remember when I was playing a game on the Switch, I saw Steve is now playing Famicom Detective Club. I'm just like, wait a minute, that's not out yet.
Whoops.
Yep.
That was funny.
Sorry,
like,
Nintendo.
oh, I don't know if anybody else is supposed to see this either.
Yeah, no.
I have definitely been guilty of the same too, Steve. Don't worry, it's not just you. I've done the same exact thing. Like I kind of like what you were saying, Daniel. I like seeing what my friends are playing. I especially like seeing when like a new Pokemon game comes out, and I just like to kind of satisfy my own curiosity. Like, how many people are playing Scarlet versus Violet? I wonder why more people chose one over the other. Whatever. I like to go through and see what my friends are playing, but I will admit that it has basically zero effect on the games that I choose to play for myself. Like, I think probably like most or all of us here, I know what I'm gonna play, whether it's, you know, buy or cover, whatever, several months in advance of when they come out. I know exactly what I'm looking forward to. I'll you know, sometimes find a new game that I wasn't expecting to be on my radar and really enjoy it. But if I do that, it's just because I'm enmeshed in this world and in this industry. It's not because I saw someone on my friends list playing it and I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. It's just that doesn't have that effect on me. But I do like seeing what my friends are playing and just, you know, it's kind of like going through and seeing what NSO games people are playing on Switch, and I do it on PlayStation as well, and on Xbox when I am on Xbox. It's just fun to kind of see and compare and contrast, but it doesn't have any personal bearing on what I play typically, because I know what I'm playing months out in advance.
Fair.
I'm kind of the same way. I do like looking at my friends list to see what people are playing. It's something I do every time I turn my Switch on. Actually, that's the first thing I do. Is I just like, what are people doing? I'm curious. But outside of that, I think I get more out of this on Steam. Joe, who, for those who don't know, helped make our nice new animated intro. She plays a lot of like very small kind of indie games, and I'll see her playing, like Return to the Oberdin or something I've never heard of will pop up, and then if it's Brandon Core, she'll usually tell me, and then I'll be playing these games. Like Hypnospace Outlaw, The Outer Wilds, just things I probably wouldn't have looked at if she hadn't told me first.
I've got someone at my door. I will return shortly. Keep it going, folks.
Okay.
Alrighty.
But it's nice for that, because it does let me expand my horizons a bit and lets me play games that I probably wouldn't have even known existed half the time.
Sure.
Return to the Oberdin's one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. Can't ever play it again. Can't ever play it again because once you've played it, you just kind of can't play it a second time because it's knowledge based.
It's just one of those. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Same with Outer Wilds. Like you play the Outer Wilds, once you've beaten it, you can't ever go back again.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
I know Steve was saying that he doesn't like this about Nintendo like friends as much, but I actually do enjoy like when a big new first party game comes out. It's always fun to see like how many people are in on that day one hype. Like when Tears of the Kingdom came out, it was nothing but Zelda on my entire friends list, and there's something fun about that. I don't know, like I can see what he means. Like it's predictable. I can see what Steve means, but at the same time, it's kind of fun being part of that like day one hype, and you go on and you see 80 friends online and they're all playing Tears of the Kingdom or they're all playing Super Mario Odyssey or something. It's just
There'll always
ready
be
for
that
the
one person playing.
They're
like,
always
Picross or
there's
right?
always someone who's not part of the hype.
They're not part of the hype circle. But yeah, I'm going to be looking out for that once Wonder comes out. You're going to see everyone play Mario Wonder.
Yeah.
And then one person is going to still be playing Animal Crossing, and you're just like, but Mario. But
Exactly.
Martin.
I better be seeing
But
people
Martin.
playing Mario. We got 12-player friend rooms. Like I want those filled.
Yeah.
That's right.
Fun fact, I can no longer feel anything from my right kneecap down.
Do you need
It's
to
all
stand
it's
up?
all numb. Well, see, I don't think I should though, because I'm wearing a bathing suit, and I don't know that anyone needs to see me stand up in a bathing suit on a public
see.
stream. Don't need to. I don't want to get us demonetized forever because we will if I do that. So it's okay. We're nearing the end of the show. I will still probably have a functioning leg by the time we're done, but I do hope Steve gets back soon because I am in a great deal of pain.
That rubber duck just looks like it's part of an overlay. It doesn't look like it's actually there. I don't know.
It's
something
true.
about that
Actually,
duck.
you're right. I can see on my phone. You're totally right. We did get a couple of super chats. I guess I'll fill the time with. We got one from Silent Smash Brothers with $5. Thank you so much. All you guys got to catch the Sonic Symphony tour. Ash, I'm bummed that I missed you on Saturday, but it was awesome. Yes, it was on both counts. I'm bummed I missed you as well. I'm so sorry I did. Yes, it was awesome. I have been to 1,000,000,001 video game music concerts and shows in my life, and Sonic Symphony is right up at the very top. The energy in that room and the audience was unlike anything I've ever really experienced before in my life. Brandon, Daniel, you guys are in for such a treat. And I cannot wait for you to experience this.
I have 3 weeks to wait still.
Oh man, I like
Nice.
honestly, if I had a bunch of like just disposable income, I would just like book a flight to come see the show with you, Brandon, and then you, Daniel, and then like Steve when it comes to Seattle. I want to go see it with him. I want to see it with all of you guys because it is such a special, magical, wonderful, amazing experience. God,
Oh, yeah. I'm ready.
I can't wait. I'm so excited for you guys.
If anyone's coming to the San Francisco next, I think it's in January. I'm planning to go to that one, so you'll be able to have GVG meetups all across everywhere during the Sonic Symphony.
Yeah,
I
John
think
had
Caitlin's
one at
going
the
to
London
Chicago.
show. Right.
I'll be
So
there.
yeah, Brandon, you should totally have a little community meetup for people in that area because John did one for the UK and London. He met a bunch of our audience or our community members there, and then I did as well here in LA. And I think we should all do it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I promise you, it is not because I don't want to be a thirst trap. I don't think anyone has to worry about that. And Nelson, I am not wearing a Speedo. I am wearing a regular bathing suit, but I still don't think I should stand up in a wet bathing suit on a public stream. So I'm not going to do that. Let's see. We also got Mocha the Orange Bear with $2. Thank you so much. With a matchup, Jax from Mortal Kombat versus Doomfist from Overwatch. And I'm only familiar with one of these characters, with being Jax. So
Yeah,
I don't know what Doomfist can do, but I know that Jax can rip off people's arms. I know that he can grow into a giant at will and step on you. So I feel like that probably gives Jax the W, but I don't know anything about Doomfist's abilities.
Doomfist has a big gauntlet on his right arm. And
Okay.
just because it's
Hence the
sick, I'm going to
name.
say Doomfist.
Okay, fair enough.
Name.
I don't know. The fact that Jax
Yeah,
can
I
grow
guess.
to giant size and step on you, I feel like that might be the winner.
I mean, I guess there wouldn't be much left to do at that point, But
Yeah.
could be the Ant-Man effect, Climb
True.
up the butthole and expand.
I did not need to think about that. Oof, jeez.
We didn't.
That's
we
one way
didn't-
to win. That's all I'm saying. They could have been Thanos like that.
That's true. Good point. What about you, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the characters, so I mean, when I don't know even one of these in these matchups, I'm just like, how do I even contribute in a meaningful way,
God, Steve, come back. My
Here
foot.
he
I
is.
can't feel
He's
my
here.
foot. Oh, okay, good. Oh,
I'm
okay.
back. What did I miss?
My stream is a little bit behind on my phone. We've just been answering super chats, and there's a super
excellent.
chat about the Sonic Symphony, talking about how I want to book a flight to go to the show with every one of you and just experience it over and over again with each one of you because it's so amazing.
That would be fun. We won't get it here till January, and I'm going to try to make it happen. Obviously, buying
don't
a house
try.
leaves one in a bind, so I'm not financially steady on my feet. Let's say that way.
Dude, I will
Patreon.com/GVGame.
split a ticket with you to make sure you go. It is knowing how much you love Sonic like we do. You cannot miss this. You cannot miss it.
Oh,
Trust me.
I'm sure I'll make it happen. I mean, it's a drive
right.
up to Seattle, and then if I'm really that hard up, I can just go and then drive home again.
I will help you pay for it if I need. You have
No
to
way,
experience it as
no
a
way,
Sonic
no way.
fan,
You know what
man.
you can do? You can come out here and you can go with me. That would be better
Oh
than you
God, I would
helping
love
me
that
go.
so much. I would love to. It's so amazing. But everyone's already heard me talk about how amazing it is, so I won't do it again.
Nice. All right. So I believe it's time for my Patreon question. Mine
It
this
is.
week. We got everybody else, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so. Yes.
I love Cutie Caitlin, and you, viewer, can help at patreon.com or right down here, just underneath this video if you're watching. Just there's a button right there. It says join. Anyway, mine comes from Vedran, who writes, "What's the most glued to a game you've ever been? Not necessarily your favorite, but what game have you sunk the most amount of time into?" Easy. That is Phantasy Star Online version
Yeah.
1 for the
I
Dreamcast
knew it.
at almost 1,600 hours. Like,
Holy cow.
Oh my god.
I lived in that game, and to be fair, to this day, if it was available, I'd be playing it. So, probably good that it died, but I do
mercy.
certainly miss it. Yeah, it was a mercy for my social life, but it's also one of those things I can't imagine ever putting that amount of time into any game ever again. I play 100 hours or 150 hours and I'm like, whoa, crap, I love that game. But to be fair, and this is embarrassing, but I'm admitting it anyway. You know how Sony does those like roundups of how much time you spent playing games in any given year? They'll tell you.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mine was like Fortnite last year with like almost 400 hours. I was like, oh,
Man.
fuck. Like I played
Hey.
God.
I played more than an hour a day every day, basically.
You know what?
That
I mean,
was-
I had that
yeah.
with Fall Guys last year because I always play, every week with my friends. So I was like, I played that much Fall Guys in a year. Holy crap!
Yep, it sneaks
At least
up
you're
on you.
socializing.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's a
True.
social game.
I'd say you go ahead and go, Daniel. I think I cut you off, but I'm pretty sure you and I probably have the same one.
I don't think so. So you go ahead.
Really? Okay, I
Oh.
guess not.
Ooh.
Mine is pick an smash in general. Pick an iteration. Doesn't matter. I've spent thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon more thousands of hours playing every version of Smash over the years. I have about 1,000 hours in Ultimate alone. So yeah,
Jesus.
pick a Smash. That's my answer. I've spent more time playing some version of Smash Brothers than anything else in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So that's it
I
for
mean,
me,
I
Smash.
think that's probably somewhere up there with the amount of
Okay.
time. I don't know. I guess I'm thinking of like, I guess the way that it was phrased is how much did I spend in one like chunk of time put together? Because it's got to be
Oh, okay.
Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom for me. Like that's just a place where I lived in
Oh.
for a very long time. Just within that space of time, just stuck to the world, exploring, doing everything possible. I definitely don't have as many hours in that as others, but that's definitely one that I think of as far as like one small span of time. With
I see what
Steve's
you mean.
mentioning how PlayStation keeps track of the hours you put into games, was it last year? Maybe it was the year before, where Genshin Impact was the one that was the highest on there to a unfathomable amount. Like, wow, I really did use my PS5 as the Genshin machine, didn't I, during that year? So that and even today, like they're just really good at having more content out and stories and other stuff to do and just stuff to do all the time in that game. So there's that. But yeah, that, and I guess Smash the Ultimate. I don't know how many hours I have, but I certainly have spent quite a lot just playing that with friends online, just everything possible, honestly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mine's probably pretty obvious, but
Yeah.
No way.
it's Monster Hunter.
No, get out of here, man.
This
That's not
game
possible.
ate my entire high school career. And then when this game came out, it ate my college career.
Wow, nice box.
I love it.
Yeah, so Monster Hunter Tri on Wii, I spent 1,200 hours in. It has 18 monsters in it. It is one of the smallest Monster Hunter games ever released. So the fact that that happened is crazy. Combined across the series, I'm probably between 3,000 and 4,000 hours total.
Wow.
Brandon's just a monster genocide machine.
He is.
Oops.
Oops, all
Yep.
genocide.
He is the Monster Hunter.
Look,
Yeah.
I love this man. I have slain this man many times.
I love you, and therefore I must kill you.
It's Rathalagos.
That's him.
Damn, that's good.
I love it. That's really good.
Daniel's about to become a father instantly for that joke.
Oh no.
Let's
I
see.
think that's everybody, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that is it. Did we
Yeah.
miss any of the super chats? The last one I showed is from Leo Flo.
So no, we didn't. I did Silent Smash Brothers as well as Mocha the Orange Bears. So we are at Leo Flo's. That's
All
the
right,
next one.
Leo Flo, what is everyone's favorite Sonic song? And as the least well versed in this group, I'm just gonna say,
Jesus.
"Open Your Heart," and I've taken that one.
Oh man,
It's either that or Starlight Zone for me. Those are my
Man,
two.
I mean, yes is my answer to that question, Leo. I don't even. How do you? Every Sonic song. I was gonna say "Open Your Heart" as a favorite vocal theme, but because Steve already took it, I'm gonna say "Reach for the Stars" is a favorite of mine for sure. That's up there for me. I couldn't tell you what my actual number one favorite is, but "Reach for the Stars" is like really up there. And if we're talking like classic Sonic, then like Sky Sanctuary Zone or Lava Reef Act
Ooh,
1, both
yeah.
are like two of my big favorites. Yeah.
Mine's probably a toss-up between three. Live and Learn, Endless Possibilities, and Sonic Boom.
You know-
I love all three of those.
Oh,
songs.
Sonic Boom. Also, You Can Do Anything. That one too.
You know
Oh,
which one
God.
doesn't get enough credit that I never hear mentioned? My Sweet Passion from Sonic Adventure. I fucking love
Yeah,
that
I
song.
agree. I agree. God, I could name like half of Sonic Adventure soundtrack for this answer too. Like Jesus.
Yeah, that one's rough. Amy's the best though. I'm on an Amy kick now. Superstars
Amy's
needs
great,
to come out, and it needs to have a goddamn awesome Super Amy. Like they did her dirty in Origins Plus. So
Yeah, proper.
yeah, I need a real Super Amy. I need her to go full Super Saiyan. I need her to have a projectile of some. You know what? Just give her a Genki Dama. I'll be fine with that. Make her Goku in a dress.
Heck yeah.
What about you, Daniel?
My favorites are Bortilopes. I love Studiopolis Zone. Both acts
Yeah,
are
great song.
fantastic. All the songs that are original to Sonic Mania have some amazing soundtracks to them.
Press Garden.
That and Press Garden, and the 3 versions of Mirage Saloon. Those are fantastic.
Yeah.
And I guess if we're talking like older ones, gosh, I was one of those people that listened to the Sonic CD soundtrack way back in before the Japanese version of the soundtrack was more well known over here in the West. Stardust, Stardust Speedway is the one that I'm always thinking of. The Japanese version of that. I love that song a lot. And then slowly that song came to the West more and more. I saw it in Sonic Generations, and I was like, I know that one. And then it just kept coming back and back over and over again until it was also in Sonic Mania. One of my favorite songs, definitely in that soundtrack. A lot of songs from Sonic CD are fantastic. And then I guess just also for an actual vocal track that we to wrap that up, I love Cityscape as well. The different versions of Cityscape that we've heard.
Hard to beat.
It's a classic.
Cityscape, yeah,
definitely.
It's a classic.
Cityscape. Can you feel the sunshine?
Sonic R. Every second of Sonic R's soundtrack is goated. Every single one. Diamond in the Sky is like a jam. And I was actually going to say, one of my favorites that a lot of people have been reminding me about in chat that I forgot to mention. I hate this character. Silver can go jump off a cliff, but his theme song, Dreams of an Absolution, slaps. That song is incredible, both the original version and there's a remix that came out a little later on that's also really good. But Dreams of a friggin' Absolution slaps so much.
Oh my gosh. When you mentioned remixes, the fact that there's an official remix of Cityscape sung by Lynn, who's known to do the music in Persona 5, that is just everything in the world that could come together for me right there. And it's a fantastic rendition of it.
Nice. Also, one thing I want to point out, I hope you feel like you got your super chats worth, Leo Flo. Thank you so much. If you notice, next to Leo Flo's name, he's got a little star. And that's because he's a YouTube member. We got badges coming soon. Yeah. Daniel is actually working on those today. So we should have that star should turn into something way cooler soon, Leo. But we appreciate you joining us here on YouTube because you're, I think, the very first one. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's going to do it for episode 77 of the GVGcast. We made it through all our news, all our patron topics. And we only went for like an hour and 45 minutes. That's fine.
I can't feel my right foot anymore at all.
Ash is
not there.
Ash is slowly succumbing to necrosis, so we should probably get him out of the tub as soon as we possibly can.
Oh man, I saw the post show too.
Yeah, we got the post show, so that's gonna do it for us. If you know, the post show is happening soon. That'll be live in our Discord, and we'll put a link in on YouTube socials there for where you can go for the post show if you're not in our Discord yet. But thank you guys so much for joining us. It really means a lot to us that you watch us here each and every Friday night as we are wont to do. We couldn't do this without you guys. You quite literally help us keep the lights on. You helped us bring on Brandon and Daniel full time. That means a lot to me, or, as partners.
Oh, yeah.
It's full time's a myth here, but you helped us make our two besties full-fledged partners in the business. We could not have done that without your generous support.
Thank you all.
So thank you guys so much for making our dreams a reality here. That's going to do it for us. Of course, we have to give a special thank you to everyone at the producer tier and above who helps to make this show happen. All you producers know who you are, and in case you forgot that you're one of us, your name is on the screen right now, like you, Super Duper Pooper Scooper, and you, Michael Abuda, and you, Refined Pet, and you, Risemon. I see all of you. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Senku Clover, our latest producer, thank you much. But we have to give an extra special shout out to our patrons at the executive producer tier and above, or our supporters at the executive producer tier and above. And those fine folks include Brandon Bovia, Cutie Caitlin, Fangs, Z Patty, Sky Blue Flames, Eastman 23, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Logan Daniel, The D-Pad, Blake, Joy Content, Angel Martinez, Vedran, Joshua Hunter, Benny Yao, Azran127, Black King, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Wataniac, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Andrew Medeiros, Darchi, Becca, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber CPHT, Too Much Spaghetti, Bane 400, Ascaron 809, Rioner, Raining Clouds, The Game Orb, Super Gamer Dude 101, Grantles, Ravelox, my mom. Hi, Mom. Skull Kid Tiger, Dark Steel 01, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Cystic Warrior 29, DJ Jursic, Derek, I always want to say Darek, Colin, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Keel, Brendan Hesse, Hustlebun, Noah Fitterer, Calvin Atkinson, Brainchild, the entire state of Wisconsin, Jim Wakeland, Long Boy Shiggy, Aramis Baramis, Kyle the Monarch, Dat Alpha Lion, Lord Metarex, Blaze Collard, Eric, Cat Evie Person 5, Peyton Teal, Mega Beatman True Blue Reviews, Jung Ant, Ryan Hanley, The Game Jamie, and last but not least, Alex. Thank you so much for giving us that list that we can read out each and every episode here. It means a lot to us. Your support means the world to us. And thank you so much to Blaker36 for joining as a YouTube Discord community member. If you link your YouTube account to your Discord account, that should drop you right in the server. Feel free to hang out in the best damn Discord community anywhere here on the internet. That is going to do it for us here for episode 77 of the GVGcast. We'll see you next week at our usual time. It's blanking on me. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. I know numbers. All right, we are out. We'll see you at the post show if you're joining us for that. But until next time, folks, good night and good vibes. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
So we meet again
next time. Woohoo!
I just have it in my head every time.
Oh yeah.